Hello, welcome to another video from the Animal University channel. Let's go for the video. Flamingo. Flamingo, order Phenacopteriformes, any of 6 species of tall, pink wading birds with thick downturned bills. Flamingos have slender legs, long, graceful necks, large wings, and short tails. They range from about 90 to 150 centimeters, 3 to 5 feet, tall. Flamingos are highly gregarious birds. Flocks numbering in the hundreds may be seen in long, curving flight formations and in wading groups along the shore. On some of East Africa's large lakes, more than 1 million lesser flamingos, Phenaconias minor, gathered during the breeding season. In flight, flamingos present a striking and beautiful sight, with legs and neck stretched out straight, looking like white and rosy crosses with black arms. No less interesting is the flock at rest, with their long necks twisted or coiled upon the body in any conceivable position. Flamingos are often seen standing on one leg. Various reasons for this habit have been suggested, such as regulation of body temperature, conservation of energy, or merely to dry out the legs. The nest is a truncated cone of muddy clay piled up a few inches in a shallow lagoon. Both parents share the month-long incubation of the 1 or 2 chalky white eggs that are laid in the hollow of the cone. Downy white young leave the nest in 2 or 3 days and are fed by regurgitation of partly digested food by the adults. Subadults are whitish, acquiring the pink plumage with age. To feed, flamingos tramp the shallows, head down and bill underwater, stirring up organic matter with their webbed feet. They eat various types of food, including diatoms, algae, blue-green algae, and invertebrates such as minute mollusks and crustaceans. While the head swings from side to side, food is strained from the muddy water with small comb-like structures inside the bill. The bird's pink color comes from its food, which contains carotenoid pigments. The diet of flamingos kept in zoos is sometimes supplemented with food coloring to keep their plumage from fading. The greater flamingo, Phenacopterus ruber, breeds in large colonies on the coasts of the Atlantic Ocean and Gulf of Mexico in tropical and subtropical America. There are 2 subspecies of the greater flamingo, the Caribbean flamingo, P. ruber, and the Old World flamingo, P. roseus, of Africa and southern Europe and Asia. The Chilean flamingo, Phenacopterus chilensis, is primarily an inland species. 2 smaller species that live high in the Andes Mountains of South America are the Andean flamingo, Phenacopterus andinus, and the Puna, or James's, flamingo, Phenacopterus jamesi. The former has a pink band on each of its yellow legs, and the latter was thought extinct until a remote population was discovered in 1956. The lesser flamingo, Phenaconias minor, which inhabits the Lake District of East Africa and parts of South Africa, Madagascar, and India, is the most abundant. It is also the smallest and the deepest in color. In ancient Rome, flamingo tongues were eaten as a rare delicacy. Flamingos constitute the family Phenacopteridae, which is the only family in the order Phenacopteriformes. They are sometimes classified in the order Syconiiformes, herons and storks, but also show similarities to Anseriformes, ducks and geese, Charadriformes, shorebirds, and Pelecaniformes, pelicans and cormorants. Facts about flamingos. Flamingos. Flamingos are not always pink. Since 1957, millions of plastic pink flamingos have decorated lawns across America. However, did you know that flamingos are not always pink? Baby flamingos are born with gray or white fluffy plumage and do not develop pink coloring for at least 2 or 3 years. In fact, even adult flamingos can lose their iconic colors. One of the incredible facts about flamingos is that the pink coloring of their feathers comes from the food they eat. Flamingos eat things like small crustaceans, shrimp, and algae from saltwater habitats. These contain carotene, a pigment that affects the red coloring in many plants and animals. For example, carotene is what makes tomatoes red and carrots orange. Over time, these carotenoids begin to add a red, pink, or orangish hue to a flamingo's feathers. What flamingos eat and how much they eat affects the intensity of color in their feathers. That is also why some flamingos are brighter pink, while others have paler tones. Caribbean or American flamingos, for example, have brilliant coral pink feathers, while greater flamingos have pale pink colors. Flamingos eat upside down. A flamingo's neck has 19 bones, which gives it a lot of flexibility. This comes in handy for flamingos, since the food they eat is at the bottom of ponds and lakes. A flamingo will flip its head upside down into the water to scoop up algae, small crustaceans, mollusks, insects, and small fish. Small, brush-like plates in the flamingo's bill, called lamellae, filter out any extra water and sediment, leaving only its tasty food behind. There are 6 species of flamingo. There are 6 flamingo species that live all over the world, from Europe to the Middle East, Asia, Africa, South America, the Caribbean, and even a few in Florida. The greater flamingo is the largest flamingo species and can grow up to 5 feet tall. The lesser flamingo, on the other hand, is the smallest, measuring only 3 feet tall at most. The rarest species is the Andean flamingo, found in the Andean mountains of South America. Andean flamingos, along with James flamingo, the Chilean flamingo, and the lesser flamingo, are vulnerable to or threatened with extinction. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance. Flamingos are gregarious social birds that like to stick together in large numbers of at least 12 birds. However, some groups may have thousands of flamingos. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance, although sometimes it is also referred to as a regiment, a flock, a stand, or a colony. However, flamboyance seems most fitting for a large group of these flamboyant-looking birds. Flamingos live in unusually harsh conditions. Flamingos live in coastal lagoons, lakes, marshlands, mudflats, tidal flats, mangrove swamps, and sandy islands. However, these goofy birds are not too picky about the water conditions. For example, they can handle water as hot as 150 degrees Fahrenheit, as well as nighttime temperatures that reach -22 degrees Fahrenheit. In addition, flamingos can live just fine in both freshwater and saltwater. Sometimes the water can be twice as salty as the ocean. However, flamingos have a gland that filters the salt out of the water, and they often rinse off in fresh water afterwards. Flamingos can even survive in corrosive soda lakes. Soda lakes are extremely alkaline and have large amounts of carbonate salts. Only certain types of bacteria and fish can live in these areas, because the water's chemical composition will burn most animals. However, somehow flamingos make it work. Many flamingos enjoy these habitats because they keep potential predators away, allowing them to eat in peace. Flamingos have very tall ankles and can sleep on one leg. Scientists are not exactly sure why, but flamingos often stand on only one foot, keeping the other foot tucked under their bodies. It looks like their knee is bent backwards at a strange angle. However, the joint that is bending is not a knee at all, it is actually the flamingo's ankle. Their knees are much higher up on their legs, close to their bodies. They are hard to see because they are often covered by their feathers. Although we don't know why flamingos stand on just one leg, there are a few theories. It is possible that flamingos do this to conserve body heat, particularly when they are in cold water. A flamingo's feathery plumage helps to keep its body warm, and it loses body heat through their legs. Tucking one leg up might help a flamingo regulate its body temperature. Flamingos also utilize more muscle power when they stand on 2 legs, so standing on one leg might be less tiring. Whatever the reason, flamingos often stand on one foot and never seem to get tired. In fact, flamingos can sleep on just one leg without any trouble at all. Flamingo tongues were a delicacy in ancient Rome. This fact is more than a bit strange today, but ancient Romans actually ate flamingo tongues. Although the entire bird was considered a middle-class meal, a flamingo's tongue was a delicacy. Only high-ranking or wealthy Romans could afford such a luxury. In some cases, they also cooked the meat. Serving roast phenicopterus or scarlet wing at a dinner party was an elite status symbol. Today, fortunately, flamingos are a protected species and it is illegal to eat or kill these extraordinary birds. Flamingos are excellent dancers that mate for life. During mating season, male flamingos perform complicated dance moves in order to secure a partner. So far, scientists have been able to map out at least 136 combinations of dance moves in greater flamingos. For example, head flagging is a common starter move. Male flamingos gather in a synchronized march while flipping their heads side to side. Unlike many other bird species, female flamingos also join in once the dance gets going. If a female is impressed with a male's dance moves, she will become his lifelong mate. Flamingos equally share parenting responsibilities. After mating, a male and female flamingo help each other to build a nest out of mud for a single egg. Even if something happens to the egg, the female flamingo will not lay another one until the following year. Because of this, it takes flamingo populations several years to rebound from predators and natural disasters. Both the male and female take turns incubating the egg. Once the baby flamingo hatches, the parents continue to equally take turns caring for it. Baby flamingos are born with white or gray fluffy plumage that helps to keep their small bodies warm. For the first few months, they only drink crop milk made by their parents. Male and female flamingos produce crop milk in their digestive tracts, and then regurgitate it for their young baby. Crop milk might sound awful, but it is extremely high in fats and proteins, giving baby flamingos everything they need to grow and thrive. Flamingos are strong swimmers and powerful flyers. A flamingo's long, lanky body can look clumsy when it moves around. However, flamingos are actually strong swimmers, and very formidable flyers. Although most birds tuck their feet up when they fly, flamingos stretch their long legs out beneath them. This helps them with balance and makes them more aerodynamic. In fact, flamingos can fly up to 35 miles an hour. Flamingos regularly fly between their nesting grounds and feeding areas. Many flamingos also migrate when the climate or food availability changes. They typically fly at night to avoid predators and can travel over 350 miles in a single night. I hope you enjoyed this video enough and it was informative. Please like the video and subscribe the channel. Introduce us to your friends. Good luck to you all.